General Andrews,
and the Dream Stream presents Rapid Runs!
You can obviously hear. I'll count you down if you're listening to obviously like my audio. I can say like 3, 2, 1, go. So you're good to go? I'll wait for your okay. And we can start from there. Just let me know in Discord. Okay, ready. We're ready. So I'll count down and I'll explain obviously kind of like what's going on. This is a really cool run if it's 1 player, 2 controller. So we'll count down here. We'll let me get back to the title. So KB wants to go into the demo mode and then exit the demo mode. And that actually sets the RNG seed. So we're able to make sure that the bosses all behave in a very specific way. So once I see you go back to the title, I can count you down. Let me just, okay. Alright, so we'll say 3, 2, 1, go. Maybe. Alright, there we go. Nope, we're not. False start. 1 second here. Okay, he had to redo. Alright, I gotcha. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the start, we're gonna see some weird stuff. I'm actually really curious because KB sent me some messages the other day and I tried my best to explain. But in this co-op version, and you can technically do it with 2 players, like 1 player, 2 controllers, is you can do zips. So we'll see if he actually goes for a zip here. I'm curious if he tried to figure that out. Alright, no zip, no worries. So the co-op difference is really, really unique. I'm actually kind of curious to see what strats he does go for, because a lot of the co-op strats mirror the 1 player, 2 player, sorry, 1 controller, 2 player strats. So for the most part, we'll see Dale carrying Chip a lot. I don't know if that's a metaphor for like anything in particular. But we have to be a little bit careful because you do have limited health here and you're probably not going to want to die. Because part of dying in this game, especially in both of these categories, whether it's co-op or like 1 player, 2 controllers, is you want to make sure that you're not taking extra deaths, because one of the things that separates this from any percent is being able to die in very, very specific ways. I just saw what Zaylen wrote in chat. Very, very specific ways that you're going to be able to, and you'll see it in the next stage in B, come back in a very specific way. So you can basically skip large portions with the chipmunks being in balloons. So here we go. We'll start to see kind of like what's going on here. Oh, we're doing all zones. Cool. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I thought this was any percent. So I guess we're going to A. And this is a really cool level. This is actually, I think, one of the better pieces of music in the entire game. The climb in this whole section is extremely cool. In 1 player, 2 controller, you just kind of toss the enemy there, sorry, the chipmunk into there. And this boss kill is 100% always the same. That's obviously why, yes, A. That's why, sorry, we do that. So yeah, A is a cool stage. It's very short, and any percent, it's really quick. So we go to C. This is another level. We don't actually see the levels A, C, or E in any percent. So I guess we're going to see all of them today. E is actually pretty difficult. There's not really a lot that goes on in A, and there's not really a lot that goes on in C. So I'm actually kind of curious how he deals with this. Okay, he's just going to switch. That's a pretty smart play. Because realistically, if you take extra damage, lives are pretty specific in terms of both co-op, but also 1 player, 2 controller, because you really can't take extra deaths. And very good maneuvering here. It is possible to accidentally take a hit when you collect Zipper there if you're a little bit too fast, so some people wait. And that's it. There's no boss in this stage. We're done. What's up, Kaiden? So the bonus levels in the demo mode, basically they all have a 1-up there. So So you can literally see it at the very top of the level. And finally we're going to B, which is I thought what we were doing, but that actually makes sense that you're doing the other levels first. Because we need to take 2 damage on both of these screens with both of these chipmunks. So probably going to see that in the next one. And we're going to set up for a double death here, I'm assuming. So the very cool transition. I like that. That's a very slick way to do that 1 player 2 controller. So dying here allows both chipmunks to come back in a very specific way, and it allows them to basically like balloon through that faucet section. Good job not falling into the soup. That's always a little bit scary if you kind of go off for them there. Very curious to see what KB is going to do in 1 player 2 controller, specifically coming up to the boss, because there's a couple different ways you can kill the ship boss. The RNG is always going to be the same, but the execution varies wildly, so we'll see if he goes for the hardest ship kill here. No, we're going to do kind of like the backup one. So I actually don't know if he... Okay, that was close. I didn't see with the frames like blinking if he got the 3rd shot. But that is basically like the 2nd best ship kill. So Dale's going to grab the life, and then we're going to go on to D. So this is the toy store. I don't know, I guess maybe a toy store, one of the two. And we'll have definitely some damage boost to skip through this section. I'm very curious as well where the next technically death is, because you can technically die coming up here, and you're going to have a bit of a surplus of lives compared to the co-op route. So I'm assuming most of the death is going to happen in J. That's a very slick lab. I like that a lot. That's very cool. Not getting knocked into that pit, also a good thing. And we're probably going to damage boost off this guy, yes. Okay, so this is where I'm a little bit curious if there is a death here. I would not be surprised if there was. Okay, and there's not. So we're going to save our lives for another spot. I am not familiar with all zones. I am familiar with 1 player, 2 controllers for any percent. So some of this is kind of new to me. I like how I'm not 100% aware. It was kind of cool to see in real time like what we're going for. So actually, KB, okay, that was a bit of a rough one. So if you die in this game on the boss fight, as long as you don't spawn back, you don't actually waste a life. The game will give you the tie. So that was a legitimate life lost. I can see the check. Just want to make sure that Dale has the proper lives. But I'm extremely curious like how strict the lives are specifically in all zones, because that I'm not 100% familiar with. But in any percent co-op, like they are razor thin. You can't make a mistake without basically like ripping the run. So this is again another level that you're not really used to seeing in any percent because you don't go here. I really do firmly believe that this is like the worst level in the game. Okay, we have a staggered death here. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, so we were supposed to stagger the deaths, I'm assuming, to double balloon there. That was a little bit too quick. And there we go, now we're coming back. So yeah, this level has a boat in it. It also has a hammer mechanic, and I don't think anybody really liked these in a casual level. They're just really not fun mechanics, and they slow down the game, both of them. You have to wait for the boat to drive, and you have to like slam through with the hammer. So the E-boss actually is one of the hardest bosses in the entire game. You don't get to see him at any percent, so very good job. Ooh, the swag hit too. I always appreciate that last minute swag hit. Yeah, the boss is always kind of rough. Very good adjustment. I'm assuming you're collecting lives in such a way that obviously you're fixing the extra death. F is really one of the harder stages. I'm assuming Dale is going to carry Chip, metaphorically of course. Also physically. But I'm pretty sure like coming up to the F you're just going to boost, or not boost, but like jump through everything. So we'll see if there's a change there, but there's really no benefit to dying here for the most part. Oh, we're doing double jump. Okay, that's very cool. Look at that, right on. Okay, that's a very cool way to transcend the pipe. But get out of here, Dale. I saw that. Dale with his giant fat butt blocking Chip like 3 times there. Okay. So G is really weird. In co-op and any percent, it's like literally the most free stage. I would be extremely curious what KB thinks is how easy this stage is in 1 player 2 controller, both in just any percent and all zones. Like, I don't know if changes or anything like that in all zones or a thing, but it's just like there's nothing that goes on in this stage. This is all pretty straightforward platforming. This is like legitimately you just hold right and jump. But all the timing windows, I think in any percent, there's like technically a 1-frame window that you can go for with one of the box grabs. Very curious. He has to hold left on the controller here to go through. He did. That's tricky. That's requiring 2 different inputs on 2 different controllers. You're holding right under one, and then you're jumping, and then you're throwing, and then you're holding left to zip through that little bomb wall. So multiple inputs were made there, and that was exactly how it looks like in any percent co-op, so good job. Ooh, the self boost. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, so I'm extremely curious. I'm assuming we're going to see some double deaths in H. Probably the skip portion of the climb. If not, then we're saving probably lives for I and J. So extremely curious again what happens here. You can see him going to the pause screen. That's definitely to check the lives that are left over. Realistically, in any percent co-op, like you're constantly checking flowers and lives because they require, like all the strats require like a very specific amount of lives. Obviously, assuming that's also true in co-op any percent, as it is, and obviously like 1 player 2 controller. So coming up here, we'll see what happens. How do we do the H climb? Oh, we're just going. That's very cool. I like that. I love the H climb. Literally, literally Dale is just like this Hulk of a chipmunk, man. Carrying Chip through everything. And yeah, okay, so no deaths. So that means definitely we're going to see deaths in the fan stage in I, for obvious purposes. That's one of the slowest sections in any percent. And we're also going to see deaths in J, because that's also a terrible section in any percent where you're forced to wait. So hopefully we have enough lives. I don't know the live threshold again. So there was 1 accidental death, obviously, in E, so hopefully we're set up for J and I. But I almost guaranteed we're going to die multiple times and take damage boost here. Because very realistically, this section with the fans is one of the slowest in the entire game. Very cool setup. Double death here and staggering it is going to allow us to pass through these fans. It's very slow in solo in any percent. So he's going to have to come out very specifically. That was pretty sick. Okay, very sick. I like how that is. If you actually don't get out there too quickly, you can actually die pretty badly. Because if you get out too soon, you'll just automatically die. Also, I'm going to be quiet just in the off chance that KB needs an audio cue, because there's an audio cue for this next boss coming up. So I'll talk after. Okay. Oh, just smack Chip in the face. I don't think Chip was expecting that. That's okay. But yeah, there's an audio cue. Definitely. So okay, we got it. You can 1 cycle it, and we're entering J. So as I said, we're gonna probably pull all of our lives here. Man, the rage from Dale. Look at that. So there's either going to be 1 of 2 things that happens. Either KB will take a death here, or he's going to take a death in the next screen. So depending how... No, we're going to do the next screen. So probably at the axes then, considering Dale is set up for 1 health here. Okay, very cool. I like that setup. Very cool again. Very cool self-setup there. So we're going to skip all of these axes, and I'm assuming also at the very top here we're going to die and also skip some more axes. Okay, maybe not. Maybe, oh, oh man, that's... Oh, dude, I love that. That's like the most gruesome setup ever. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so that's gonna allow us until to float through and then get the fat cat here, and it's gonna be on the last hit here. So Sinister and Angie's probably very familiar with that, and that's time. So very cool. It looks like it's 13:21 from my side anyway. GG KB. That was actually very fun to watch because part of that to me was extremely blind.
And that could easily be a 13:20 as well, just because I started probably a couple frames early and I probably missed that by a couple frames because it's hard to time that. So that might be a 13:20.
There were some legitimately very funny moments there with Dale's butt blocking the door and Chip just getting smacked in the head. So.